We're at the Dubai Games 2026, and our family's competing.
Now let's talk about cash prizes. We're talking about a lot of money for the first.
So we'll see what we can catch on camera tonight. Woo, 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 woo! I'm your biggest fan! Woo! Woo-hoo! I love you! Utah!
الخطوات القصوى للوصول إلى خط النهاية 40 ثانية
10 seconds 9 8 7 6 5 4 3 2 1
On this first obstacle, we had to get the rope out of the water and swing it around and hook it on the hook. And we had our big guy, Ian, get it first try, so that was awesome, saving us some time. Then we had to wrap it around the pole so that we were able to hold him in tight so that he didn't fall into the water. So then we all had to climb across. We could only do one at a time, following the rules. This obstacle was a lot of fun. This was just stage 1 out of 3. And there you see Tay going across. Then up next is Alex. He cooked up that. We were trying to, me and my dad were trying to tie a knot, but we couldn't figure it out. So I was the last one to go because I was the lightest. So I had to hold it for my dad. And then I had nobody holding it for me. So he just went, and luckily the rope didn't untie when I went up and over. But that was a big drop. So I was a little nervous to go because I didn't want it to untie. But thankfully it stayed tied, and I was able to make it up across. Then our team moved on to the deadlift part. I was sitting out on this one. I'm glad I was sitting out because it looked rough, but our boys crushed it. They had to do 15 deadlifts in total. I don't know how much weight it was. Probably like 450 pounds. But they crushed this one. And so I sat this one because I was going to do the next. I was going to be the start of the next one. So I was fresh. So they were killing it. They had to get the ladder. So every deadlift moved the ladder over so that when we finished the ropes we could climb up the ladder to go to the top. There we finished it. Onto the ropes I start, Alex follows. And we have to move these ropes as we go across so that we can reach it all the way to the end platform. This one was a lot of fun. Definitely my favorite obstacle. So Alex was passing me the ropes as I was finding the other eyebolts to get across and make it to the finish. But this one was a lot of fun. Our team crushed it. Super happy with how this obstacle went. This was stage 3 of this first obstacle.
Go Tay!
There you see Tay and Ian going across. And then Brian coming in frame. But I think our grip strength played a big part in this one because those ropes were tiny.
Oh, they're going fast.
So we all had really good grip and none of us slipped into the water.
Go Brian! Woo-woo!
There we are, all across, and we climb up the ladder and get to the buzzer. We clicked on this one, we got 4:12, that was our time. We're really fast, and we beat all the other teams that we were going against. So there we go.
You guys were having fun in there. Oh yeah, so much fun. I think it's right up to ask, what is your pre-battle meal? What did you have for breakfast, man?
Some meat, some fruit, that protein. Yeah.
My man.
I don't think so. That's a road to carry more than 200 kg. That's amazing. You know that you lift more than 200 kg in a deadlift?
I'm not surprised. Not surprised.
What's your PR in the deadlift?
My PR, like 500.
Oh my God. 500. Yes.
A message to the other teams. Yeah. What is your message to the other teams right now?
We'll see you on the podium.
Oh man. All right, there we go. See you in the podium. Thank you very much. Team Utah, one team, one spirit. Back to the Grant.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe. They give it to them before and they load it up. It's got their own shoes in it. Luke's getting in the harness. He's going to be levitated over the pool of water.
8, 7,
This is obstacle 1 of all the obstacles. We've got 4 positions. Each one of us has to run to a rope, 4 different corners, while Luke is harnessed in the middle. So the 4 corners with all the ropes, we have to pull and move him directionally to unhook each one of these bowling balls. So as you see right there, he unhooks it and has to carry the bowling ball over to the next one. And there's 5 in total that we have to collect.
Hang on, Luke!
So now we just have to pull on the ropes in a synchronized way to move him forward. And he can't touch the water. He's dangled above water, so if any part of him touches the water, then we lose those balls that he's already collected. So we've got 3 now, and me and Ian are on the far end, pulling towards the last 2 bowling balls. And once he's collected all of them, we have to get him to the end of the platform. So he's on to the last bowling ball, and our entire team will come around. So once he lands on the platform and he's free, John and Alex can then let go of their ropes and then come and meet us on the far end. So here come Alex and John. We gather these balls. Now we have another platform where Luke is going to sit on, and he has to hold all of those and make sure none of them fall off. The remaining 4 of us now have to pick up the platform, 4 corners, and balance it as we walk Luke to the other end. There is one spot where the platform is out of the way, so Luke has to pull this rope right here to release the drawbridges, and they come down. We continue forward, and now we're at the end. We can put him down. Now we're going to use those 5 bowling balls. We have 1 set of 10 pins that we have to knock down, and we only have 5 balls to do it, and then we have 1 bonus pin if we have any balls remaining. So I push the first one down, and it's tougher than it looks. The track is not completely balanced, or so it seems. So the first 2 were not great throws. I got a split on the pins, and so we were going to end up using more than I wanted to and not maybe have any for the bonus. But even on my 3rd throw, I still had a split. So on our last 2 balls, we only had 2 pins left, and I went for the split, and it just curved off to the side and went right down the middle. So I ended up missing both the pins. And so unfortunately, that's where our obstacle ended. That was the last part of the challenge. We just needed 2 more pins. So unfortunately, we missed out on that one and the bonus, but we were super fast going there. So felt good about what we did according to that, but the bowling pins was just kind of luck of the draw at the end. Unfortunately, it didn't go our way.
Go team family.
All right, here we are kind of game planning what we're gonna be doing with the sandbags. The initial plan was I was gonna jump up and carry 3. There was 21 sandbags, 5 of us, so everyone takes 2 trips with 2 bags. One person takes 3 one time. So my plan here was to jump all the way to the rope, and then they were gonna load me up with sandbags. Alright, so I get up and get in position. You can see they bring over the bags. The little holes were smaller than anticipated. They were supposed to go down to my elbow, but they wouldn't go down that far, so that made it more difficult. We got Alex coming up right behind me. Our plan was to straddle the rope, because then you had to stay hunched over the whole time. That step down there, you can see Brian getting up. It's a little bit tough, so you know, do you kneel it? Do you step it? At the top, you slide back down, grab your next 2 bags. Luke crushing that one, Brian crushing it. Got mine in. Climb back up.
They get him up to the top and they lay him down and they come slide down.
It was weird because it was almost like you didn't know if you should trust that you were going to slide when you were using the rope or not. But you had to use the rope, so a little interesting. Alright, so now I'm up at the top. I'm trying to organize some of the bags so we can pull them right down to the next level as soon as we are cleared with this one. And we're bringing up the last couple sandbags. Pretty good pace compared to the other teams. I didn't really notice the other teams the whole time though. Trying to help finish at the top here. Alright, so now we're clear. So the plan was for me to go all the way down and I'm going to be the catcher. So essentially, as they're coming down on the zip line, my job is to make sure that no sandbags are dropped. You can see Luke here, he gets loaded up, but we did not understand that the rope was tied. And so when he goes here, it gets stuck. Huge shout out to Luke actually being able to A, continue to hold, and B, not drop any of the weight there. So then we got it unlocked, comes flying down, bear hug from me. Okay, now the plan here is Luke runs it back up and then comes right back down so he can be a runner one more time.
That bag looks like it's about to fall.
Alright, catch Alex, and then now Luke's running it. A little difficult part there at the end, when you're running the rope, you have to jump up with the rope. It was Brian. He pretty much speared me on that one, but that's alright. Alex with a good hustle. And you can see how quick Luke's turnaround was, so you know John loaded him up. And here he goes. Great grip, feet up. So once they landed, you're responsible for putting your bags into the box. Alex again.
Go Alex!
Again, these young boys got some good grip. Good hustle. Okay, Brian again. So it would take everyone doing 2 trips, someone maybe doing a 3rd. That one we lost the bag, and so we had to go back in, retrieve the bag, throw it back up onto the pad, and then Brian runs it back down, which it's not a complete loss because we had 1 extra bag at the end anyway, so really it was actually the same amount of trips. Just one time we had to run back an extra bag. Not ideal, but not the end of the world. We're getting super close to the end now. John's going down. Oh, drops a bag. Brian helps. grip there, great grip. Alright, got the rope back, and you can see that
There you go.
we're getting close to the end of the sandbags.
Oh my gosh. That was crazy.
We lost our runner. That's why Alex came back down and grabbed it.
Oh, Alex!
Oh, almost lost it here. Good job, Luke, getting that. He's got great grip. I don't know if I would have held on to that from that drop. All right, Brian running it back. I think we have one more. Yep, so you can see Brian's coming back down. Means we have all the sandbags. Here comes John. So now we have all the sandbags were cleared. So now we've got to take them out of the bucket and toss it down into the sand. We have to balance it exactly, and we have 21 sandbags. 7 went on the far side, and then 14 went on the closest side. So you see Brian up top and Ian up top hucking the bags down, and then the 3 boys at the bottom are stacking them up. Again, all we needed was 7 on the backside. Getting close to the end here, so I bring down that last bag, flop it on. It was a little finicky on where the weight distribution. It had to stay, the arrow had to be in the green for 5 seconds. It only did it for 4. We scooted one bag down a little bit. We were in the money zone, and then we could hit our bells.
You did? Trying to step up?
And a big old goose egg right here.
I do see it.
It was twice as big as that.
10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
All right, we came into this with a game plan. Brian and Ian set as the base. Luke and Alex jumped up first. I followed. Then we had to go through this next little tunnel. Then Alex set as the base to start throwing people over. He threw Luke up first, then threw me up second, or Ian up second, and then the rest of us all just jumped over the wall. Then we had to go to this little tower over here and get a couple of blocks up the tower. We all knew our positions. I was starting at the bottom. Luke and Alex were in the middle. Brian and Ian went all the way to the top. You had to put a pole through the little cube and start passing it up using the holes. And it had to go all the way to the top. And Brian and Ian had to feed it through the little hole in the top. But there was only so much leverage we had with each pass. So it was kind of hard to get it passed up. That little cube had a key in it that we needed to get in order to unlock the maze that was back at the beginning of the obstacle. They were able to get it all the way out. Then we had to, once I passed the little cube up, I started passing the big cube. And the big cube was a little bit harder for the second level to get onto it. And we had to get that big cube all the way out to get the bonus points. We ended up getting the big cube to the top and ended up dropping it back to the bottom. So here I am passing it. We got it on the middle. They're trying to get it to where they can pass it up to the top. Brian and Ian are trying to grab it, and they end up dropping it. So it cost us a few seconds, but it was 5 points to get that cube up and out. So it was worth it to go for it again. So I rehooked it, passed it up. As I was trying to get it up, I was running out of leverage. I didn't have enough room to go up any higher. So it was really hard to get it stabbed to get it up to that next level. Eventually though, we ended up we get it figured out to where they're able to hook it, start to pass it up. And even on this next one, when they're trying to grab it from the top, it ends up coming loose and almost falling, but they catch it. And they were able to pass it up to Brian. Brian ends up doing the work to try to whip it out. He's making sure that his stick was half and half to get a good whip on it, and got it out. That's 5 points extra right there. So now we had to hurry back down. I set the base for everybody to jump over the wall. Started feeding everyone over. I jumped up and followed. And we had to go through the tunnel again.
Well, that was close.
Got to the next wall. We had to jump over this wall again. I was the last one to go up. I was going a little slow. Ian drags me over. And then we had to unlock this maze. So Alex was going to be our rotator guy, so he went to the back of the maze to rotate it once we got it unlocked. Once we got it unlocked, then we started telling them which way to rotate it. And there's a ball inside of the maze that has to come all the way out, that has the next key that allows us to hit the buttons at the end. So Alex had to crank it pretty fast to get the ball to go the right direction, and had to go almost all the way around that whole circle. And then we had to work it back and forth a few times and get it in the right direction. We ended up not making any mistakes on this part and pretty much had the ball come all the way out the way we needed it to. Good communication on everyone's part. As soon as he got it, we took off. Ian posted, was going to throw me up. I wasn't leaning forward, so I ended up throwing him back. He gets Brian up, gets Alex up, and throws me up, and he ends up following us over. Everyone back through the tunnel. Now setting up for the next wall. Brian's throwing everybody up. He threw up the first two, pulled the wall down. We all end up dragging ourselves over the wall. And now it's just a sprint to the buzzers at the end. And we finished. So happy with the finish, happy to get the extra bonus points. The team next to us actually finished right before us, but they did not get the bonus points on that one.
Because it was problem puzzle solving. Big strands are good at puzzles. John's got a big goose egg on his leg from when he went up the waterfall with the sandbags.
Said something that was a little rude.
He apologized, go.
Yes.
Alright, deck of cards, here we go. House of cards. 2, 1.
Alright, so this one was pretty straightforward. We just had to build a house of cards. So first we had to build the first layer, and then we would move on to pushing a sled after we load some weight onto it. So you build the first layer, put some weight onto the sled, push it, come back, build the second and third layer, put some more weight on the sled, push it, come back and build the final layer, add the final weights and push it the rest of the way. So right now we got the first layer on, we got to go over. So there's jugs of water on the side for a bonus point. You can add it onto the weights that you load onto the sled to get some extra points. So we loaded the water, got our guys picking it up, load it onto the sled, which is a little awkward. We're going for the furthest, we're going for the far side of the sled. That way when we load the next ones, we don't have to walk as far. We gotta load it as far up as possible, go to the back, push it until the judge just tells us to stop. So it wasn't too heavy for the first push. Run back down to the bottom. Now we're working on the house of cards again. So beforehand we all decided what part of the house of cards we're all going to work on. That way it was a little smoother in getting the house up. And just making sure it doesn't fall over. Wait a couple seconds after you get it on. Judge says you're good, then you can run. So now we move up back to the jugs. We gotta place the jugs in the middle of the weight. It was a little awkward sometimes getting it in because it didn't fit perfectly, and so Just had to manhandle a little bit to get it in there. And then back to carrying it. Now we got to carry it a little bit further, so that's why we're loading the front of the sled. The awkward angle carrying it up that hill too. Kind of just crashed it into the cart. And then again, just sliding it up as far forward as we can, make the next one easier. The second push was a little hard, but not too bad. Still felt doable. Not getting too tired yet doing that. So now we're neck and neck with the orange team next to us. We're all running back at the same time. Now we gotta work on the rest of the house of cards right here. So now some of us are just kind of standing around, stabilizing it while we build it. And this has to stand for like 4 seconds or something before we run away. So it has to be semi-stable. So that was good. Judge said we're good to go. The last cart, not last cart, last weight. This one we have a long carry to get to the top. Orange team got a little bit of a head start on us, but we're able to get some speed walking done, catch back up to them. Kind of stumbling right here, drop it a little bit, but we're able to get it loaded on without too much struggle. So now at this point, with all 3 weights on, it feels like you're barely budging it. It feels like you're going nowhere with each push. And with the slant too, trying to push into that, you feel like you're just kind of sliding with each step. But once we got it going, it wasn't too bad. Just had to get some momentum behind it. Yeah, all of our legs were burning right here. It was so heavy. We just push it all the way to the top, wait for the judge to say we're good, and the buzzers are right there. So this last little push, we're all just digging deep. And we're there.
I don't know.
10 ثواني 10 seconds 9 8 7 6 5.
All right, so this boat one was brutal, but we had a game plan for going in. Brian and Ian were taking the first ball off while me and Luke were dragging the boat into the water, getting ready. Dad's grabbing the paddles. We get in, grab the paddles. He's holding our boat. Ball's almost off, coming over. As soon as it's loaded in, my dad's pushing us off, and we're paddling away, racing the green team. Going into the canal, only us or the green team can go, so we just barely beat them. We're planning on going to the far back corner first, taking the farthest one first while we're fresh. Well, originally we were planning on cutting across, but we had so much momentum coming out of the canal that we just had to keep riding our momentum, going around that first post, grabbing the ropes, trying to pull us through. Paddling was a lot harder than it looks. Those paddles were dense and heavy, and then no matter how you're doing it, I just felt bad the whole time. So we get over to this corner. I grab the rope to keep us kind of steady. Luke grabs the ball, getting it hooked. The first one on was pretty good, and then coming back was exhausting. I'm still just paddling back, trying to make it good. Looks a lot better on camera than it felt being in that boat. Grabbing some more ropes, pulling us through. Green beat us back to the canal. Yeah, still going through right here. It's getting a little tiring. So I figured I'd have someone swap me in. It's getting a little exhausted after doing the last couple of obstacles. So when I get right here, I'm yelling out switch. I throw out my paddle. Someone's gonna grab it and pull us in. And Brian pulls us in, swaps real quick. They get the ball. We get pushed back out.
Why'd they do that?
Back to paddling again. And it's just really awkward positioning being in that boat. Trying to get that paddle down. Felt like nothing ever felt good about paddling.
Teamwork.
little bit of a getting caught a little bit trying to get into that canal right here.
That looks not good.
Yeah, it's just hard to get those paddles going.
Something bad is happening.
Nice, coming through. I think the original plan was to go to the far side. Again, trying to save the close ones for last. Gotta make room for the green and orange. We weren't allowed to try to fight other boats for positioning. Whoever got there first got to take it. There's our second ball. Luke's putting it up. Paddle back through the canal again. Paddling coming back was a little bit faster. Kind of finding a rhythm. Now we gotta load up with our third ball. I think Luke takes a swap right here. Yeah, Luke hops out, my dad pops in. Load the ball. We had to stop for a second, make sure it was in the boat. If the ball touches the water whatsoever, then we have to restart. A better start into the canal. Now we're saving the back left side, the back far side, or I guess the left far side for our last one, so we could load the ball up and then drop someone off. We have to take all of our teammates to the other side of this obstacle, but we can't do it until we have all 4 balls up. So we're saving the one closest to our dismount platform for last. That way we can drop someone off at the end right after we get that ball on.
I know. What are they doing?
So you go over to that, get to that box again, grab the rope. Brian stands up, grab the little hook. All right, so after we get this next ball on, then we can start dropping people off. Had a little bit of a hard time getting around orange team. Hard competing with these other teams, kind of getting in the way. You got to be aware of your surroundings and where everyone's going to be at all times. Now coming back with these paddles is hard because you had so much momentum, then you had to change directions, but your boat's still trying to float the other way that you're going. It feels like you're just fighting it the whole time. It does not feel fluid at all. So coming back, we're getting ready to grab this last ball. At this point, our boat was pretty much filled with water. We were boating around with a kiddie pool, pretty much. Alright, taking another swap. Ian hops in, grabs the ball. Got me and Ian paddling, Luke in the back with the ball. At this point, I tried doing a new technique with the paddle. Grab both sides, trying to just scoop as much water as possible. The side-to-side stuff wasn't quite working out. So I felt a little better doing it this way. But no matter how we were paddling or what we were doing, it was just rough. It was a tough experience. Probably the hardest obstacle out of all 7 that we were doing. And grabbing the ropes again, pulling us through. Oh, maybe not. Good throw, Luke. Alright, so now we're getting our last ball on. So at this point, we can start dropping people off now that we have this last ball. So as soon as Luke gets it on, we paddle to the end. We're pretty close to our side. So we're only allowed to touch blue things. So we're not allowed to touch any of the walls, any of the other platforms. Our dismount platform has some blue. So as soon as we get as close as we can, I was able to grab the corner and kind of drag our boat over to it. Luke's using the same technique I was, just grabbing both sides and scooping through. Kind of hard to pull all the extra weight even by yourself. You have all that extra water you're just dragging around.
How much time do they have? 2 minutes?
Yeah, Luke is doing a good job. He's cruising back. We only had 10 minutes to finish the obstacle, so we were getting kind of close. I think at this point we had maybe a little less than 2 minutes left to finish. As soon as he gets to the end, hands the paddle, we get pulled in. So now he gets a little rest while John and Brian both paddled the rest of the way to the end. So as soon as they get to the end, we get to push the buzzers and that's it. So it's just a race to the finish, just a mad paddle. I don't think any of us were really happy with our performance paddling across this, but it's just awkward. There's not much you could do, not too much that you felt like you could control over it.
They're not the first, but they're also not the last.
Yeah, now it's just a straightaway right to the finish. Everyone's exhausted at this point from paddling. Almost there. We're reaching out for the paddles, try to drag them in, save some time. There you go, and a sprint to the finish. That was brutal obstacle, taxing, very exhausting, just wears you out. We're all pretty disappointed in ourselves and how we performed, but we at least got the points, we at least finished it, so we were happy with that. We're all just happy for it to be over.
You did good. Tired? Tired maybe?
مرة أخرى ليست محاولة ناجحة. في الطرف الآخر فريق برشلونة أيضا
10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Okay, so this is obstacle 6, our last obstacle. So we have one person, Luke, he's jumping on the tramp. He's spinning that cylinder, so as he jumps and pulls and spins it, it pushes balls out, kind of like a vending machine. We have to gather all those balls and put them in the bucket. So we're going to use those later on in the challenge. So you don't have to get all of them, but we decided that we wanted as many as we can because the challenge at the end is not easy, so we wanted as many chances to complete this as possible. So we've now got all of the balls. We're moving over to the area where we have to transfer them. So only using the monkey bars, we have to carry the balls across the water. And there can only be one person at a time. So as soon as they drop and finish, the next person gets up. So Ian did a great job going across. Then I'm following two hands. We have two hands on the last one before dropping, and then we're collecting all of the balls into a basket at the other end. So we're just taking turns as one jumps up to the monkey bars, another teammate puts the balls between their legs so that they can carry them across without dropping them, and we're just taking turns getting all of them across. Alex, Tay, Luke and Ian. Alex coming back, Tay going across. It takes us about, I think, 2 trips each to get all of the balls across. Ian on his second round. Dropping. I'm up for round 2. This is a little trickier than it looks because we're not used to doing monkey bars with squeezing something between your legs. You can't swing as freely as you'd like. Luke almost loses one right there. Luckily, he's great at monkey bars. Catches it, puts it back between his legs, and just does an L-sit to carry it all the way over. Very hard, but he's Luke, so of course he does it. Gets him back. We're just waiting on Alex. Has got our last 3 balls. He's got one in his mouth this time, which was legal. You could carry it any way you want, just except for stuffing it in your shirt. Now Tay is just coming across. He's our last competitor. We have to move as a group. So he's down. So now the last challenge is we have to take those balls, bouncing on a trampoline. I have to shoot the balls into a basket that I can barely see. So I have to jump up high enough that I can see the basket and try to shoot them in. My first couple were right on target. I was just hitting the front. I felt good. All of the balls were weighted a little bit differently, so it was a little difficult to kind of gauge how much to shoot it. And I felt like I was getting them. I had the crowd yelling at us whether they were short or too long. And so after a bunch of fails at the beginning, kind of took me a little bit of a rhythm to get into it. A little short on that one. So all of them, like I said, were right in line, just a hair short. Hit the front again. And then that one too high because I kept doing them so short, so decided to go a little harder. Took a second to think about it. And then finally got one in. So we're kind of through all the heavy balls first and we're on to the lighter ones. And I got 2 in a row there. 3 in a row. So I kind of got into a little bit of a rhythm here. 4. And this again was the reason why we wanted to take as many balls as possible. Got another one because you just didn't know how easy or hard this was. So we have to get a certain number in there to weight that basket down. As soon as that basket gets heavy enough, it will lower and open a door for us to then crawl through. So as soon as the door opens, we can go all the way through. So I've hit a bunch now. It was a little bit short. We're down to our last 2 balls, I believe. And that one makes and opens the door. So now we all have to go under the tunnel. And under another one, our last opening. And to the buzzer at the end. Finished that one. Felt good about it. Took a little bit more shots than I would have liked, but we ended up getting it done, which some people did not finish this obstacle.
2 point 4. 2.3. She wants me to keep it. We showed all the heavy ones first. I gotta keep it.
Good sportsmanship.
It is good sportsmanship, right?
Yeah.
You guys trying to do it again next year? Sweet.
1 minute.
It changes things though.
So much fun.
That I had a really good time competing in the Dubai Games. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Oh, really? What about you?
I had a lot of fun. It was an amazing experience. My body's beat up, and I'm gonna have some good battle scars when I get home for sure.
Definitely coming back next year.
Totally worth it, and we'll be back for sure.
This was awesome. Like, coming here and watching was fun. Competing was a whole nother level. This was an amazing experience, like top-notch competition, so much fun.
It was good. Oh, it was so much fun. I wish we could have done a little bit better, but hey, it was a lot of fun. I'm excited to be here.
Had a phenomenal time at the Dubai Games with the bench.